Hello and welcome to Holy Insanity's Dragon Soul Raid Guide. Today I'll be coaching you through the normal mode Warlord Zon'Ozz encounter. If I have one pro tip for Zon'Ozz, then it's this: don't take your eyes off the ball. Zon'Ozz is a two-phase fight which repeats until he dies. Phase 1 focuses on your raid's execution of the fight, whereas Phase 2 is very much a burn phase. Zon'Ozz summons no killable ads. You'll want to bring one tank, 2 to 3 healers, and a balance of melee and ranged DPS. Now let's take a look at his abilities. Zon'Ozz only boasts 3 basic spells, but possesses one very unique ability. At the start of the fight, Zon'Ozz will gain Focused Anger. This increases his physical damage done and attack speed by 10%. This can and will stack over time. Also, Zon'Ozz will periodically cast Psychic Drain. This will cause 111,000 to 130,000 shadow damage in a cone in front of Zon'Ozz, and it will also heal him a little. Another thing to watch for throughout Phase 1 is the Disrupting Shadows debuff. This will tick for shadow damage over time and can be dispelled, but note, once it is dispelled it will knock the affected player back and cause a moderate amount of shadow damage to them. Also, last but not least, shortly after starting the fight, Zon'Ozz will summon a large purple orb called Void of the Unmaking. This cannot be killed and is the key mechanic to the encounter. When the sphere collides with a player, it causes Void Diffusion, inflicting high shadow damage split evenly between players in range of it. The sphere then bounces off the hit player in the opposite direction and becomes immune to Void Diffusion for a few seconds. If the Void is allowed to reach the wall of the room, it will cause high fire damage to the raid and knock them into the air. But if alternatively the sphere collides with the boss, it will weaken Zon'Ozz, causing him to take 5% increased damage for each time the Void has been bounced. This will also reset all stacks of Focused Anger and wake up the Maw of Garoth. This brings us to Phase 2. During Phase 2, Black Blood of Garoth will fill the room, dealing high shadow damage to all players every second. After 30 seconds, Phase 2 ends and the fight repeats. Positioning is key to this fight. Start with your ranged stacked near the edge of the pool. Tank the boss in the middle of the room with melee on his back. Ideally you want 25 to 30 yards between the ranged and the melee group. Have the tank face the boss to the ranged group until the first void ball spawns. This means the ball will spawn within or heading towards the ranged group, calling it to bounce immediately towards the melee group. Once the void has spawned, the tank should flip the boss around and face him towards the back of the room. If you accomplish this correctly, it will cause the ball to bounce between the melee and ranged stack. We recommend putting one healer in the melee group, one in the ranged group, and having one floats halfway, making sure to be out of the ball's path. Dispels must be timed correctly as they deal high damage to the afflicted player and knock them back. This can coincide with the void ball and cause problems with the damage split. It is a good idea to assign a dispeller and have them only dispel players who won't be taking the void bounce soon and who are also at high HP. Eventually the ball needs to hit Zon'Ozz, otherwise his damage scales too high from Focused Anger, causing him to be untankable. Give a call out early to melee to get them to move out. This ensures they do not accidentally knock the ball back towards the ranged stack. This will begin Phase 2. In Phase 2 the whole raid should stack and DPS should use cooldowns, as the boss will take significantly increased damage depending on the amount of times you bounce the ball in Phase 1. Healers will have to tough it out to keep the raid alive. A cooldown rotation may be a good idea. For example, Tranquility to Spirit Link Totem and then to Power Word Barrier. Be careful not to pop all of your cooldowns in this first phase however, as you will quickly see it again. When Phase 2 ends, quickly reposition ready for Phase 1. The fight repeats from this point onwards. Most of the difficulty in this fight is finding the right amount of bounces your group can handle, repositioning between phases, and healing the raid in Phase 2. Once these things are completed, a kill is imminent. If you enjoyed this guide, subscribe to our channel and bookmark our website. Thanks for watching, and there will be more guides to follow soon. Thank you.